Thank you, everyone, for coming here. It's just terrific to see such a great audience. So this is hosted, as you know, by the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, and I see a lot of people here that I haven't seen before. So think about joining the Chamber. I'm on the board of the Chamber, have been for a long time. The Chamber has been great, and we meet lots of people, good people like you. So I'm Maralyn Dolan, Integrated Printing and Graphics. I am here to talk about that old medium, print and paper. Paper was invented over 2,000 years ago, and the Chinese invented it, and it was truly the disruptor of the day, because prior to that, people wrote on stone, very heavy, and bamboo, and cumbersome. So it really changed the world, because philosophers could then write and send it along, and money was made on paper. So it really changed the world. But anyway, that's another time, and it's a fascinating subject, but not for today. Today I want to talk about that the reports of paper and the death of paper and print are vastly exaggerated. Thank you, Mark Twain. But the demand has changed dramatically, and I certainly have felt it. But I'm here to show you and talk about the really great things that is happening in this wonderful industry, graphic arts industry, that I'm involved in. I'm talking about three things I'll discuss today. Touch and the science of haptics, new word for me. Print and the environment, and how we get a bad rap for hurting the environment, and I want to dispel those myths. And also show you what's new in the print world and all the exciting new treatments and papers that you can use. So the science of haptics, it's touch. Scientific experiments have shown that people value something they see, touch, and feel 24% more than just seeing it. And research shows that half of our brains are devoted to the sensory experience. So when we touch something and feel something, it goes right to our brain. And our largest organ is our skin. So when we are touching something, it really relates right up to our brain, and that's half of our brain. So, and that's the science of haptics. So there was a recent New York Times survey that showed that retail sales just plummeted when retailers went to online brochures. And why is that? Because people then didn't go to the websites. We know that when we receive a birthday card, a really beautiful birthday card in our mailbox, we touch it, we feel it, we look at the envelope, and we like it. And now we're happy to get an birthday card, but it certainly doesn't have that same emotional sense. It could be funny, it could be loving, it could be sexy, but it goes to our brain. So retailers really have learned this. IKEA had a really hilarious YouTube video last year, and they said this is their new marketing tool. It's called a book. It's not an e-book, it's not a digital book, it's a book. So you don't have to plug it in, you don't run out of batteries, and you can flip it, and you turn the pages over, and you can pass it along. And this is their new marketing tool. JCPenney last year relaunched their home goods printed catalog. Why, do you think? Maybe because Land's End, this is unbelievable, was doing very well with their online brochure. So they decided that they would stop their printed catalogs. What happened? They lost $100 million. So needless to say, they're back to printing their catalog. And they did a survey that 75% of the people that went online to purchase, it was because of the printed catalog. The touch, the science of haptics. Catalogs are the single most effective driver of online and in-store sales. They're used to educate, to inspire, and to hopefully eventually purchase. The Attorney General of New Jersey last year, I think it was last year, it doesn't matter, sent a a warning out to shoppers to not take those postcards and things, guerrilla marketing that you get, because you may purchase something that you don't want. So I said, really? Maybe you'll purchase something that you do want. But in any case, so it works. Touch works. So Amazon, we know Amazon is a pretty smart company. Amazon is saying that they are going to be opening up between 300 and 400 brick and mortar stores in the United States. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but they're trying it out. They've opened them up already. And their e-books are half their sales, selling books, but that has leveled off. There's been a lot of talk about that. But the print books are rising. So, I don't know, Amazon's pretty smart, so we'll think about that. Okay, quality. How important is quality? There was a study done last year. There were three groups of people. There was one brochure, and one brochure was printed on very high-end paper, beautiful paper. The second was on uncoated, lightweight, unattractive paper, and the third was the online brochure. A week later, they went back to the people, and they asked them if they could remember. The people that read on the high-end brochure remembered the content and the brand 3 times more than the unattractive paper or online. So it's important. Now, what about your brand? Do you love your brand? Do you live it? Do you breathe it? Is it when you give out your business card, do you think, wow, I really love this. This represents who I am. And there's no reason not to have great branding materials. It's not expensive anymore. You can go online, you can go to Moo, and you can go to the others and get gorgeous business cards, brochures, small quantities. And so when you're out at your next networking event, say, oh, here's my card. Oh, I like that. What do you do? Does it represent who you are and what your business is? Sometimes I see cards, and I don't know what the people do. So something to think about. I went to an event a couple of weeks ago, and one of the panelists, and it was a branding event, and one of the panelists said, if the CEO of your company doesn't believe in the brand, doesn't live it, then you're in trouble. And I bet that there are a lot of CEOs in this group. And if you do love your brand, and and live it, if you look at my marketing materials, everything, if someone gets something from me, they know it's from Integrated Printing and Graphics because it's the brand. I live the brand. So touch and direct mail. Nonprofits, they know how direct mail works and touch because 60 to 80% of their revenues come from direct mail. Only 5 to 15% come from e-commerce. And why is that? Because we get something in the mail, it's ours. You open up your mailbox and it's a piece of paper. It's your ownership. There's an ownership quality to it. Now, you may not want it and you may throw it out, but you have touched it. And if you get a catalog, it's your favorite catalog, you flip through it, you save it. There is a study that says that we save printed material through the mail for 17 days. Now, I would not want to be in those people's homes but with the pile of mail, but that is what they say. There's also a statistic that every dollar you spend on direct mail, you receive between $11 and $13 back. That's really amazing. So, but do I believe that direct mail is the end-all be-all? Hardly. We're here, this group of us, we're here to talk about multi-channel marketing. And we need to do a bit of everything. Nordstrom's recently did a study, and they found that their customers that were involved in their multi-channel marketing, whether it was the Facebook ads, the direct mail, the e-commerce, all of that, they bought 4 times more than regular customers. So multi-channel marketing is what we will learn more about today. Okay, the environment in print. So this is a real bugaboo with me, that when people put at the end of their email, think before you print, I want to say, think before you email. Because every time you send out an email, you're wasting electricity. And people just don't think of it. They think it's good for the economy, better than print. It's not. And I'm here to dispel these myths. Did you know that paper was the most recycled product in the world? Some of the myths. Print and paper is wasteful. Since tracking paper rates since 1990, paper recycling has increased dramatically. In 2015, 67% of all paper in the United States was recycled. Only 28% of glass and 9% of plastic. Yeah, I know, people don't know. I'm here to teach you all about this. Another myth, making paper destroys trees. Over the last 6 decades, the net total U.S. forest area has increased by 3%. The net volume of trees on timberland is up a whopping 58%. There is no shortage of trees. Electronic communication is more environmentally friendly than print and paper. So I already talked about the email, but what happens when you get a new phone? Or you get a new computer? Where does that go? Where does that waste go? It goes to landfill. So, and that is not recycled for many, many, many years. So enough said about the graphic arts industry and the environment. But so now I actually want to talk about print. So everybody knows about digital print, how much better it is. But I want to show you a brochure that we did for a client in Copenhagen, an architectural firm that they needed. This is their proposal for a new building in Manhattan. They only needed 10 of them, and it was going to be a very fast delivery. So I'm going to flip it like the IKEA book. I'm just going to. Thank you. So look at the print here. I mean, this is digital print. You would never know that it wasn't the traditional offset. It's gorgeous. And this is because it's ink-based digital. Thank you. There are lots of digital printers out there. Many of them good, and they have the right, and they fit the need. But for your high-end work, you want to print with an ink-based digital printer. And to think that we did 10 copies of them, 152 pages, perfect bound, in 18 hours. So it's amazing. What also that we do if you sell to investment firms or you are one, we do a lot of presentation folders. We do a lot of presentation folders, but covers and backs for their presentations. So the investment firm Jefferies, worldwide, we just print their covers. And so they send it off to their offices, so everybody in the firm is part of the brand. It's elegant, it's easy. You can do this for not a lot of money. And if you're proud of your brand and you want everything to flow, think about this. So and if you're selling to law firms or investment firms, this is what they're used to. They're used to high-end stuff. So this is an IPG brochure. An IPG mailer that we did. So Mohawk Paper. The paper companies are unbelievable. They're so good. So we did some brochures we sent out of the new papers for Mohawk Paper. And digitally, we sent out 80 of them. We personalized it. Dear Joshua, what a hit. And you can do it for not a lot of money. You just have to know about these things and to be able to do it. We also put it in a Uline padded bag. If you don't know about Uline, you should know about Uline because they're fabulous. They deliver things like this, and they're there the next day. It's great stuff. Postcards. You can digitally print postcards. There are companies out there that will print it and mail it, probably just fill in the dots for the design. Postcards are inexpensive, and I'm not talking about the little actual postcards because they're cheesy. So do an oversized postcard, send it out. Maybe you want to send it out one every month to your prospects. How else are you going to get people to remember you? You need to be in front of people. There are, and this is one of our clients that did mailings. They did, one mailing was an envelope with a letter inside, one mailing was an oversized postcard, and one was a smaller one. And they all mailed them almost at the same time, every month for 6 months. And the response was great. Paper. The paper companies are unbelievable. They come up with so many fabulous papers and papers that you can print digitally. For instance, this is the Nina book. That it's called the Design Book, and most of these papers you can get in small quantities. Certainly, if you're designing a piece, you'd like to look at what's available out there to help you with your brand and your mailings. That would be good. And lastly, I want to talk about the new finishing treatments that are out there that are astounding. Hudson News is a big client of ours. We do proposals for them. They have to bid on all the airports. And mostly all the airports are, it's just amazing. So right now they're bidding on Tucson. So we're doing a RFP, and this is sand. This is raised UV sand. So you can, part of their box that we're doing the proposal in will have sand in it. And it's just amazing. So that's that. How about if you don't want to do a holiday card? And this is white flocking. Yes, holiday cards are nice. We still do them. We still do them for clients. But this is a UV flocking to add a treatment to a brochure or what you're doing. For Jeffrey's, we did I just had it here. Here it is, a brochure for their recruitment brochure. These big companies, they want to get noticed. And this is a raised UV, multi-level UV, and I don't know if you can see it out there, but it's amazing. So the outside brochure is printed conventionally, offset, with this wonderful UV. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But I'll show you something like this that isn't a lot. The text, inside is these cards that we'll print digitally. So we did 5,000 brochures, folders, and I don't know, this is recent, I don't know how we're going to run the inserts, but I know that they'll be run digitally because you can do that now because the print is so fabulous that I don't have to put a caveat in something to someone and say, yeah, but we had to print it, I don't know how it'll turn out. We don't have that issue anymore. So this is a lot, but anecdotally, I'll tell you about my own, and this is why they did this, because of this. This is a postcard. When we moved, we had to move our office to West Soho, to Varick Street, where all the printers used to be. I'm a little late in the game. We moved now, but it's a pretty exciting area. But so we did this same treatment to show that we were on Varick Street on West Soho near the river, and it had this raised UV. I can't tell you the fabulous response I got from this. Am I over my time? And anyway, so think about, I did get a call from someone that I was trying to get, and he said, finally, you got me. So on that note, you'll hear about the multi-channel marketing. Thank you very much.